Man's birth is all joy, but man's death is all sorrow. Welcome to section 19 of chapter 4 of the Holy Quran. Namshi, وَيَسْتَفْتُونَكَ وَيَسْتَفْتُونَكَ فِي النِّسَاءِ وَيَسْتَفْتُونَكَ فِي النِّسَاءِ. They ask thy instruction concerning the women. This is to the Prophet of Islam. They ask thy instruction concerning women. So asking for instruction here is yastaftunaka. Kul Allahu yaftikum fihinna wama yutla alaykum fil kitabi fil yatama an-nisaa allati. No, let's break it down. Sorry. Okay, we did the first part. They will ask you concerning women. They will ask you for instruction concerning women. Kul Allahu yaftif. Kul Allahu yaftikum fihinna. Say, God doeth instruct you about them. Yaftikum fihunna. God doeth. Kul Allahu yaftikum fihunna. Say, God doeth instruct you about them, fihinna. Then, wama yutla alaykum fil kitabi fi yatama. And remember is in the brackets. And remember what hath been rehearsed unto you in the book. Remember what hath been rehearsed unto you in the book. Wama yutla alaykum fil kitabi, in the book. Fil yatama an-nisa'i. Fil yatama an-nisa'i, in the book concerning the orphaned women. Al-yatama fil kitabi, concerning the orphaned women. Concerning the orphaned women. Allati la tu'tinahunna ma kutiba lahunna. Allati la tu'tinahunna ma kutiba lahunna. Rehearsed to you in the book concerning the orphan women, to whom ye give not portions prescribed. To whom you give not portions prescribed. Allati la tu'tinahunna, you give not ma kutuba lahunna, what the portions prescribed. Lahunna. Watargabuna an tankihuna. Watargabuna an tankihuna. Prescribe, and yet whom ye desire, targabuna, whom you desire to marry, and tankihuna, to marry. Wal mustadifuna wal mustadafina min al wildani wal mustadafina min al-wildani, as also concerning the children who are weak and oppressed, yastad'afina, weak and oppressed, minan wildani, the children, concerning the children who are weak and oppressed, wal mustad'afina min al-widani, wa an takumu lil-yatima bil-kisti, wa an takumu lil-yatima bil-kisti, that ye stand firm for justice to orphans, bil-kisni, with justice. Antakumu, stand firm for justice, bil-kisti, to orphans, lil-yatima, for orphans. Wama taklamuna, wama taf'alu min khairan fa inna Allaha kana bihi aliman. Wama taf'alu min khairan fa inna Allaha kana bihi aliman. There is not a good deed which ye do, but God is well acquainted therein. And that is wama taf'alu min khairin. Wama taf'alu min khairin fa inna Allaha kana bihi aliman. There is a note to read, and it's 636. 636. No, there are two notes, 636 and 637. 636 is against rehearsal. Ma yutla alaykum. Rehearsal. 636. Again and again, is it impressed on the community of Islam to be just in their dealings with women, orphans, children, and all whose weakness requires special consideration. Full stop. The law about widows and orphans, inheritance, dua, and marriage had already been declared in chapter 4, that's this very chapter 4, signs 2 to 35. And further instructions are now given in a further reference. Full stop. It was not right that anyone should take advantage of their helpless position to deprive them of dua or of their portion in inheritance. That's widows and orphans. And that's note 636 to sign 127. Yes, 127. Section 19 begins with sign 127. I forgot to mention that. We now go to the next note. It's against oppress. Next note is 637. It's against oppress. And here we're being referred to chapter 4, sign 75 with its notes, 592. If we should go there, we are going to see something about oppression. Should we go there? 592. 592. 592. 592. 592, not 592. Oh, 592. Mustard af, that's week. Mustard af equals mathematics science. Mustard af equals one reckoned week, and therefore ill-treated and oppressed is not allowed. Here it concerns orphans and widows, but like the commentator usually says, it has a wide or general application. A nation or group of nations may be considered weak, and a tiny, powerful country will dominate the bigger one just because of its weakness, loot its resources, and punish them on top, mm, as if nothing had happened or as if it were the best thing to do. But all those things have a limited period of time to be happening. Ajili Musamma, when the time comes, it ends. So we've done the reference to 637, but we haven't finished. There is second part. There is a second part to it. Both widows and orphans are to be helped because they are ordinarily weak, ill-treated, and oppressed. Full stop. uh, in communities which base their civil rights on brute strength, the weaker go to the wall. The weaker go to the wall. WALL. And public opinion expects nothing else. They should remain at the wall. Full stop. In Nizijas, Nizija is a name. Maybe German. It's spelled NIETZSCHE apostrophe S. In Nizijas philosophy, in Nizijas philosophy of the Superman that doctrine is stressed strongly, and some of the militarists nations in our own time seem inclined to support this reversion to our primitive instincts. I think I've already mentioned it. Small, powerful nation like Britain dominating the whole of Africa, probably the whole of the world. Okay, primitive instincts. Reversion to our primitive instincts, full stop. Even in modern democracies of the saner sort, saner is SANER, sane. Even in modern democracies of the saner sort, we are often told that it is the fate of minorities to suffer. Is the fate of minorities to suffer, semicolon. Strength of numbers here becomes the passport to power and privilege. Full stop. Islam, while upholding sane, manly views in general, enjoins the most solicitous care for the weak and oppressed in every way, dash in rights of property, in social rights, and in the right to opportunities of development. But are the oppressed nations allowed the opportunity to develop? No. The richer ones should loot their gold, their natural resources, mm, process them, and come back and sell to them at higher prices, mm, thereby preventing them from developing. And any time that they want to develop, their leader suffers it. They assassinate them without pity and sit back and continue looting. Mm. Uh, and in the right to opportunities of development, full stop, that's where we are. Spiritual strength or weakness, spiritual strength or weakness does not necessarily go with physical or numerical strength. There are two different things, there are two different entities, spiritual strength and physical strength, physical or numerical strength. And that is note 637 to sign 127. Let's go to the next sign. وإن وإن امرأة خافت من بغلها نشوزا. If a wife, a wife, fears cruelty, nushuzan, fears cruelty, nushuzan, أو إغرادا, or desertion, أو إغرادا, or desertion, فلا جنوها عليهن. فلا جنوها عليهما. فلا جنوها عليهما أن يصلحا. فلا جنوها عليهما أن يصلحا بينهما صلحا. أن يصلحا بينهما صلحا. Cruelty or desertion on their husband's part. There is no blame, la junaha, on them, alayhima, on them, if they arrange an amicable settlement. Sulhan, an yusliha bainahuma sulhan, an amicable settlement. Sulhan. Wasulhu hayran, between them. Sulhan, settlement between them, an amicable settlement between them. And then it asks, Wasulhun hayran, sulhun hayran bima ta'maluna. No, wasulhun. Wasulhu hayran wa asulhu hayran, between themselves. And such settlements is best. And such settlement is best. Wa asulhu hayran. And such settlement is best. وأهدرت الأنفس الشح. وأهدرت الأنفس الشح. Even though men's souls are swayed by greed. Ashuha, greed. Wa ihdirat, sway, anfus. Al anfusu, soul. Ashuha, greed. Wa in tahsinu wa tataku fa inna allaha kana bima ta'maluna habiran. But if ye do good, esunu, if ye do good, wa in sorry, it's not isunu, it's tasunu. Wa in tasunu, if you do good, how tataku, if you do good and practice self-restraint. What tataku here is practicing self-restraint. Mm. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ بِمَا تَعْمَلُونَ خَبِيرٌ. God is well acquainted with all that ye do. That is, if you do good to the women and practice self-restraint from harming them, God is well acquainted with all that ye do. Inna Allah bima tamaluna habiran. Another invocation of God. I've said it a number of times. This is the difference. This is a special way of ending verses in the Quran or a group of verses, specifically for the Quran. Uh, there is a note to that, and that is 638. Are swayed by greed. He did that and well, he did that anfusu. He did that anfusu. Ashuha, greed, swayed by greed. Ashuha, swayed by greed. 638. To protect the woman's economic interests, various rules are prescribed for dua in marriage. But the sanctity of marriage itself is greater than any economic interest. That's right. Giving a woman, building a house for a woman, and maltreating her, not sleeping her, ignoring her, is of no good. Okay. Uh, but the sanctity of marriage itself is greater than any economic interest. Full stop. Divorce is of all things permitted, most hateful to God. Divorce is of all things permitted, most hateful to God. So, among everything that has been permitted, divorce is hateful among them to God. Therefore, if a breach between husband and wife can be prevented by some economic consideration, it is better to make that concession than to imperil the future of the wife, the children, and probably the husband also, in some cases. Full stop. Such concessions are permissible in view of the love of wealth and ingrained in ungenerate man, ingrained in an regenerate man, ingrained in unregenerate man. But a recommendation is made that we should practice self-restraint and do what we can to come to an amicable settlement, sulhan, to come to an amicable settlement, sulhan, without any economic sacrifice on the part of the woman. And that was note 638 to sign 128. Yes, what a coincidence. Note 638 to sign 128. Let's go to the next sign, 129. Walan tastati'u an ta'dilu bainan nisa'i Walau harastum, ye are never able to do justice between wives, even if it is your ardent desire. Walau harastum, even if it is your ardent desire. You have many wives, it is very difficult to treat all of them equally. This is where self restraint comes in, both for the husband and the wives, or the other wives that suffer disproportionate attention from the man. Low harass them, even if it's your ardent desire to do that. فَلَا تَمِيلُوا كُلًّا فَلَا تَمِيلُوا كُلَّ الْمِيلِ فَلَا تَمِيلُوا كُلَّ الْمِيلِ آه، فتزروها فتزروها كالمهلكات كالمهلكات أو كالمه كالمؤلكة كالمؤلكة وتزروها كالمؤلكة. Uh, but turn not away into brackets from a woman altogether. Wala tamilu kullan mailan. Do not turn away altogether from a woman in brackets. Fatazaruha kal mu'allakat. So as to leave her, as it were, hanging in the air, in brackets. There are two brackets there. As it were is in brackets, and hanging in air is also in brackets. Without the brackets, it reads, so as to leave her hanging. So as to leave her hanging. فلا فتسروها كالمعلقة وإن تصلحوا وتتقوا فإن الله كان غفورا رحيما. If ye come to a friendly understanding, I believe here both husband and wife, come to a friendly understanding and practice self-restraint with tataku, and practice self-restraint with tataku. فإن الله كان غفورا رحيما. God is oft forgiven, most merciful, Ghafuran Rahiman. There is a note to read 639. 639 is against hanging, leaving the woman hanging. 639. In this material world, there are two principal causes. There are two principal causes of division between man and wife, money and the other woman. Money and the other woman. That's for those who marry two wives or more. For one wife, it's only the money that may come in. But even then, because it's one wife, it hardly comes in. So money and the other woman. The other woman is in inverted commas, double inverted commas. Money and the other woman or the other man. Okay. Or the other man. In other words, another man intruding in the marriage, or wanting to make love, or wanting to get acquainted with the wife of another person. Also, so the other woman, the other man are both in double inverted commas, full stop. Money was dealt with in the last verse. Full stop. Here is the case of the other woman, in inverted commas again. Full stop. Legally, more than one wife, into brackets up to four, legally more than one wife, into brackets up to four, are permissible on the condition that the man can be fair and just to all. But anyway, we're also told that it's a difficult task to be fair to a number of wives at the same time, and that self-restraint is recommended here. Mm. And that is note 639 to sign 129. Okay, another coincidence. Let's go to the next sign, which is 130. Mm. It has two notes, 640 and 641. So 130. Mm. وإن وإن يتفرقا يغني الله كلا وإن يتفرقا يغني الله كلا من شأته no من سعته. وإن let me take it again. وإن تتفرقا يغني الله كلا من سعته. But if they separate, يتفرقا, if they separate, God will provide abundance for them. God will provide abundance for each of them, kullan, for each of them, from his all-reaching bounty. All-reaching is hyphenated, from his all-reaching bounty. Sagitihi, his all-reaching, his all-reaching, REACHIN, all-reaching bounty, min saktihi. وكان الله واسعا حكيما. وكان الله واسعا حكيما. وكان الله واسعا حكيما. For God is he that careth for all, and is wise. Wasi'an hakiman, who careth for all and is wise at the same time. Another invocation of God, and that is sign 130 without any note. We shall break here. When we come in our next video, in our next episode, we shall go to sign 131 to begin. Thank you very much. Bye bye. May God be with you all.